Patrick Bet-David podcast is being called to the carpet by their own audience and being held accountable for their misinformation. Their audience ain't having it. They're really upset because the Patrick Bet-David podcast said a lot of things about Candace Owens that wasn't true, that was verifiably not true. They made a really big mistake. But the thing is, the mistake they made was just too bold and blatant to be accidental. And people are starting to think that maybe this mistake they made comes with a more sinister reason.
Turning Point USA, when Charlie was hosting the debate between Dave Smith and the other gentleman, he asked him point blank, is Israel an ally of the United States? Dave Smith said no. So that's where Dave Smith is, who happens to be Jewish. But here's a couple different thoughts here. Candace is a shock jock, and she is such a good one, man. She is such a good one. So were Candace and Charlie friends? Yeah, they were. I challenge anybody, please help me out here. Show me one picture, one podcast, one evidence that they've even been in the same room in the last 2 years. The last thing I found, the last time they did anything was on October 3rd, 2023. Ironically, a couple days before October 7th. Show me any evidence that they've been in touch, they've been in dialogue, they've done anything together. I would love to see it. So they were friends. I don't think they are friends. I think that Candace is capitalizing on Charlie's death. I think she feels horrible. She doesn't feel good about this. But Candace is an opportunist.
I don't know if Candace Owens is telling the truth. I don't know if this Charlie Kirk death is anything more than what we've already been told, which is, like this crazy kid took his grandpa's rifle, went to the event at Utah State, and shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I don't know if it extends beyond that. I don't know if Charlie Kirk had an angry meeting with an Israeli billionaire. I don't know. But what I can tell you is, if Candace Owens is being discredited with lies, then that means she has to be somewhere near the truth. She has to be getting hotter to the truth. Because if your only response to whatever she's putting out there isn't to respond back with facts, but to try to discredit her with lies, then she has to be somewhere near the truth. So they can't discredit her by combating whatever she says with the facts. They're now trying to discredit her relationship with Charlie Kirk to then say she can't speak for Charlie Kirk, they weren't friends. But we know that's a lie.
They said Bill and Charlie were cordial, they're friendly, there was no conflict. Yeah. We were in the room the entire time.
Did he say that?
Yeah, straight up. Fact check me on this. So at some point, we're going to have to acknowledge something about Candace.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Can you read this? I've been asked by Bill Ackman even more times. I'm traveling with Charlie Kirk to find out what's the truth. His team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on BB, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS, what is that? SAS, what is
Student
that?
Action
Student
Summit.
Action Summit.
We don't
It's
live
like a
And Charlie's
TPSA,
reply was, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for AmFest 2. Charlie personally told me he had a very cordial relationship with Bill, and the event was productive. Those are the facts.
Okay. So that's subtly saying, Candace, you have no idea what you're talking about. Can we agree upon that? So at what point are we going to say, well, maybe Candace just is completely unbiased here? So there's justified criticism of Israel? Sure. There's
biased or unbiased?
Biased.
You meant to say biased.
You're saying she's biased towards Israel.
Or against Israel.
Oh, okay.
Is that fair to say?
You're being biased.
All the lies you're about to hear them tell on Candace Owens is all because they're running point for Bill Ackman, right? This billionaire, right? This Israeli billionaire who had a meeting with Charlie Kirk to talk about some things that he didn't like in the media and how Charlie Kirk can assist him by squashing some anti-Semitic tropes. He even told Charlie Kirk, hey, listen, man, your stance on October 7th, I don't like that. Your stance on this, I don't like that. You giving platforms to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and these anti-Israel dudes, I don't like that. And that's a really big deal, taking into consideration that Bill Ackman has a relationship with a lot of the donors that donated $100 million to Turning Point last year. So that's all Candace Owens said. Candace Owens never said that Netanyahu is behind Charlie Kirk's death, that Netanyahu killed Charlie Kirk. She never said that. All she said was, this meeting is strange and it's weird, and they were upset at Charlie for certain things that Charlie has said and has allowed to be said on Turning Point. I think that's fair. I don't feel like that means that they were screaming mad at Charlie Kirk or they was threatening Charlie Kirk. No, they was just upset about certain things. So they're creating this entire big deal and getting ahead of the story. Candace Owens just said, hey, I'm doing my investigation. Adam is getting ahead of the story to then say, yo, Candace Owens said that Israel is behind Charlie Kirk's death, but here's why she's lying, when she hasn't even told the lie that you're accusing her of saying yet.
Yes. Okay, so there's justified criticism, there's unjustified criticism, there's lies and deception, and then there's just outright hate. I would ask you, what category is Candace in regarding Israel? I don't know if she outright hates Israel, outright hates Jews. I'm not there. But is her criticism completely justified? Is it completely unbiased? Or is she using lies and deception here? Last point here. You offered Tucker $100 million to join Valuetainment. True or false?
Yes.
Did you post it on Twitter at the time?
We posted. We went to his place. We sent the guy to his place to make the offer.
So there was a formal offer and a formal contract.
Documented.
If someone's going to offer Charlie Kirk $150 million, don't you think there's going to be a public statement, a contract, a tweet? Is it just, yo, buddy, you want $150 million? Come on our team.
As if that's the normal practice. As if when somebody wants to pay you for propaganda, the normal workflow to buy propaganda is, hey, Twitter, we're paying Charlie $150 million to spread propaganda for us. As if that's the normal workflow. When does this happen? This is like completely asinine. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. And then they bring on this other dude who works for Turning Point, and they have him testify to back them up. Hey, I've been working at Turning Point since 2015. I haven't seen Candace Owens in person since 2015. He even said something like ludicrous as if like, yo, Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk are no longer friends because I haven't seen them associate with each other for 3 or 4 years now.
You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh,
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay.
But
so let's
you don't
without
even
even being
Adam.
biased.
Is
Candace even involved in Charlie Kirk's life at all?
No question proof that Candace Owens has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to the TPUSA throne, but she's
and
not.
now she's not even invited.
Correct. So this is
So,
their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited meaning
She's not even there.
Yeah, she's not
there.
one of the names
Wait,
that
you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No.
That's
I mean
not the
heir,
funeral.
the heir to
I'm
the
saying
okay.
TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean, Erica.
That's a reason
Erica
for that.
Kirk. I mean,
what is Erica Kirk's relationship with Candace at this point?
Is
there a relationship?
I don't think so.
Why do you think? Why do you not think so?
Because I live in this world.
Okay.
I live in.
You
this.
know
I
this
mean,
world. Tell us.
I don't see them together. I don't think. I think Candace has created a lane for herself. That's it's her own lane. She wants to go after Macron's husband or wife or whatever you want to call him. She wants. I agree that I think it's cheap that she is sparking this up like she knows something between something happened between Ackman and Charlie.
Which is just not true. Candace Owens was just at Turning Point last year. They were just doing a tour together. But the reason why you kind of have to believe this is deliberate, this is not coincidental whatsoever, is because their entire comment section is telling them, bruh, yo, Candace was on Turning Point last year after she was fired by Daily Wire. PR advice to that man that should know better. Issue a public correction and apology or we're unsubscribing. When you lie on your show and about a friend no less, we can't trust you anymore and you lost integrity. So let me get this straight. They're trying to say him and Candace had a falling out. They weren't close yet. Candace did a tour with Charlie in 2024. They code headline TPUSA Live Free Tour in spring 2024, visiting several college campuses. This was just last year, but now they're trying to say the last time she was involved with Turning Point was 2015. Right. It's just ludicrous and it doesn't make sense. They lost all credibility with this. Now, Candace Owens, she did a deeper dive into this. She don't believe that they got it wrong or they were lying due to not knowing. No, she believes that this was deliberate. And their reasons behind it was actually more sinister than we think.
I told you yesterday that we received way too many emails about Charlie's memorial. All of them were asking specifically for me to confirm that I was going. Didn't feel good to me. It felt very inauthentic. I know these journalists are not my friends. I knew they were writing hit pieces, but all of them included that question. Are you going? Are you going to go? Like, you want me to confirm my attendance so that you know where I'm going to be ahead of time? Am I being paranoid? Or does that seem like a little weird? Even on PBD's show, where he just gives a platform to a guest to completely lie for 2 minutes straight, there is this random second where PBD rather oddly says something along the lines of, you don't think she's going to the funeral? Like, they keep talking about this. Take a listen again.
At some point, her credibility, I mean, is going to go down the tubes because she needs to bring receipts. Bill Ackman brought receipts. How long was that tweet?
It's still going. I think
He was there
Rob's
in the
still reading
room.
it.
Andrew Colbert was there in the room. You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh, wow.
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay. And now she's not
because
even invited.
Correct. So this is
So,
their divide is.
Wait a
is
minute,
what-
not
is-
invited, meaning
She's not even there.
Yeah, she's not.
She's
She's
not
not
there.
one of the names
Wait,
that I.
you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No. I
That's
mean,
not the funeral.
The heir to
I'm
the
saying
okay.
TP
She
USA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean,
Okay, so first and foremost, why did they all want to know if I was going to this event? I said there is no way we are going to this event now. There's a 0% chance. First and foremost, why are you saying invite? Anybody can go to it. You just buy a ticket to the event, and you're all working to try to get me to confirm that I'm going. And you're doing this as if you're trying to like push my buttons and be like, we got to make her get into her ego so she like shows up and like posts it on social media. Nope, actually, while I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good.
There's certain things that Candace Owens says, and you be like, man, Candace, bro, you got to go back to your grandmama house, bro. Like, I understand your husband worth $100 million. You got to go back to your roots, man, and learn how it feels to be black in America again, bro. And then there's certain things she says, like this one right here, where you say, nah, she ain't lose it. Nah, she still knows she an igga. She ain't that dumb. She still knows she a black woman, man. Certain things like this is one of those things, man, that you just understand if you're from a certain community, bruh. I'm not showing up to no event ran by the feds if I'm criticizing the feds. Common sense. Common sense. And I believe they already knew this. Yo, I'm siding with Candace Owens. I believe Patrick Bet-David and these other platforms and these journalists who've been contacted, they know this. And I do believe they're trying to draw her out. They're trying to draw her out to that event on behalf of the feds because it doesn't make sense, bro. They got researchers, they got producers. They're usually on point. You don't just lie about something like that can be easily like disproven.
I'm gonna listen to Power on my headphones and go see Ye. How's that for a memorial for Charlie Kirk? That feels like the right thing for me to do right now. I mean, I'm not going to this memorial because it's strange. To lie like this is very strange. For context, just so you can realize how odd this is, I spoke at Turning Point's conference, 2 conferences last year. It's so easily, like I said, debunkable that you have to ask yourself why they are saying it. Here is me speaking on Turning Point USA's stage last year. And here's what I said, by the way, which got Charlie in a lot of trouble.
Well, let me tell you something, America. It does feel so good to go everywhere in the world and to realize that there is awakening, not just happening here. Let me tell you guys, it's happening all across the globe. People are starting to ask the hard questions. And you start getting close when they start to call you names. They instantly want to suggest that there's something wrong and there's something backwards about being America first. You're starting to hear the way they're framing that now. When you say you're America first, they'll ask you, what do you mean you're America first? Do you mean that you're an isolationist? Do you believe that we shouldn't have did what we did during World War II? All of these things trying to pollute it. It's not that difficult. America first. First name America, last name first. We put this country's interests before the interests of foreign countries overseas. All of them. I don't care.
Yeah, it kind of went on and on, but it was kind of me saying, especially since 3 months earlier, I had gotten fired from the Daily Wire, like, Israel, you're not special. And yeah, Charlie got in trouble for the stuff that I said on stage, and then they came inward. I told that I was not allowed to speak at AmFest. The donors were making threats, but like I went on tour with Turning Point last year. It's still on their website. It's so this is like the strangest thing. We could pull up this website. Live Free Tour, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. Quiet breakup. Why are we doing this? It's very strange. Here's all the places that we went to last year. Now they are pushing these headlines that are so far beyond the realm of reality, like the one that I just showed you, where they say that I'm angry. And then when you look into who's writing these articles, like Victoria Churchill, you note that she has a connection to AIPAC.
You kind of have to start asking those questions. Is the Patrick Bet Davis show, or they bought out? Because it doesn't make sense. That was a quick Google. Yo, when was the last time Candace Owens was at Turning Point USA? It pops right up. So to go out of your way to lie on Candace Owens and to misrepresent the facts and to just absolutely tell a falsehood, and they got researchers, they got a producer, they do a lot of discussions before the show, for that to just be something that just gets ignored. Because Adam came to the show with this on his mind. That's why he invited the dude. He came with this on, yo, I'm gonna do this hit piece on Candace Owens. So you do your research for your hit piece and you just like ignore like the basic pop-ups, which would be, her and Charlie did tour last year. Hey, bro, like even in the pictures that she posted with her and Charlie, that's from the tour they did last year. Like the videos of them on the road, that's from the tour. I don't know, man. It sounds like there's a lot more people being offered money than Charlie, okay? Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Do y'all believe that Candace Owens is on to something? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching, click on this video right here to find out how things keep getting bad for this rapper / singer, David, who's been accused of murdering a 15-year-old girl that he was allegedly involved with intimately, okay? Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.